as Steve said, these two presentations sort of tie in together. So as we're looking to possibly build new homes along Susquehanna, those residents that live there, we're also looking to use Steve's program to help build their houses and sustain their houses as we do new construction. So hopefully we'll talk to Steve after the meeting, and we're looking to fundraise to do as many houses as they can in Homewood over the next 10 years or so. So, all right, next on our agenda is the indoor bike park, which is the Wheel Mill, which is located down in Hamilton. We have Harry Geyer here from the Wheel Mill to tell you more about what they're doing.
Thanks, Drew. Thanks, everybody. My name is Harry Geyer, and we are building the Wheel Mill. It's Pennsylvania's first indoor bike park. It will be North America's 6th indoor bike park. So it's a business model that seems to be gaining some followers. It's an 80,000 square foot building, and it's going to be filled with mountain bike trails and BMX trails. It's going to have a banked oval for road bikes. We'll have a section for bike polo, which, yes, bike polo is a real sport. It's a huge sport, and we hope to host some national events there. It'll have a foam pit, so any one of you could go off the jump and land in a big pile of foam. No harm done. So you could really do just about anything there. There's going to be obstacles for people just starting out, all the way to, we have professional riders from all over the U.S. that are actually over there right now helping to design and build. So we're going to have some real quality events. We already have Vitamin Water and Red Bull and a few other major sponsors that are going to help put on events. So we're going to have bike riding, we're going to have music, we're going to have cool events in addition to just every day of the week being able to get some exercise. And the other parks are all kind of in the north and snowy and rainy parts of the world as well. And it's because we have so many cyclists here in Pittsburgh. What do we do when the weather doesn't permit riding on the trails or riding on the street? Now we got a place to ride inside. But before I get too much further into it, I want to say everything that OBB and Jerome and everybody is working on here is really fantastic. I live in Lawrenceville. When I first moved to Lawrenceville 7 or so years ago, bullet holes. That's what I'd say about Lawrenceville. I live in the 10th ward, which everybody was like, ooh, 10th ward, that's, you know, like, all my family lives in the South Hills, and they're, why do you want to move to Lawrenceville, 10th ward? That's, you know, everybody gets shot there. Well, yeah, some of that happens. But man, 7 years, what a difference 7 years made. And I'm listening to all the new vision, the new mission statement, all the things that are happening here in Homewood, and I feel like deja vu because I was at all the community meetings in Lawrenceville, and I feel like this is the path to just a great neighborhood. Now in the 10th ward, no fear, no bullet holes. Neighbors are all happy again. We're all hanging out on our front porches, hanging out on the street again. You know, I got a kid that works for me down at the Wheel Mill, and just today he said I had to sneak out the back door. The cops wouldn't let me out the front because there's a shootout. So I don't know exactly where it was, but that shootout that happened here today. You know, and that's what it was in Lawrenceville 7 years ago. Now it's everybody hanging out. Steve is still rebuilding together Pittsburgh. We had rebuilding together the 10th ward of Lawrenceville. Please tell your neighbors and friends this is a real deal program. We had so many people in Lawrenceville after it came through. So many people say, "Hey, wait a minute! You know, I didn't really realize that you were really going to do all this great stuff." Tell everybody this is a real program and they do real good work. Make sure that your neighbors and your friends know. Get on board with this because it's a real program and it does a huge amount of good. Even for little things like we found so many houses that had carbon monoxide leaks. You know, you thought the house was fine, but there was carbon monoxide leaking out, and the inspectors went through and said, hey, if these people lived in this house for another 2 months, they would have died in their sleep. So even if you call them up and say, hey, just can you have an inspector swing by and just give it a once-over, even if you don't even know you have a problem. Please take advantage of your building together. Hang out with some of the Steelers. I don't know if you have the Steelers coming through this year too. It's a great fun time, and you can save people's lives. You can improve your life. Real program. Please spread the word. Senior housing development is awesome. Jerome had a great idea when I first talked to him about the wheel mill. He said, "Hey, can we do? Can we get some seniors maybe before you open in the morning to use the space to get some exercise? Like people head up to the malls and do wall walking." It's so far it looks like my insurance company's going to let me do it. So, there are going to be logs and trails and stuff, but there's still going to be plenty of room. So I hope we can, just be on the bus route there and get seniors over to the wheel mill in the morning before the bikes come in, and get some exercise, stretch your legs all winter long. You don't have to worry about going out and slipping on the ice. Come into the wheel mill, walk around. I love everything that's going on here. What's that? Yeah. Hey, if you want to get on a bike too, that's great. I love everything that's going on. All this makes me even more happy that I decided to make sure that this business opened up in Homewood. Other parks, the one in Cleveland, pretty much half of Pittsburgh travels to Cleveland to that park. Well, we're not going to have to travel anymore. And this is the other thing I want to let everybody know. If you have a restaurant or you have a friend that has a restaurant here, please tell them to give me their info, because we're anticipating to have about 30,000 people a year at the park. And they're going to be really hungry when they get done riding. So if you know anybody that has a restaurant, wants to start a restaurant, has got a business plan for a restaurant, please make sure that they'll deliver. Please tell them to get in touch with me, and then we can put their flyer up so we can keep everybody fed and energized. I'll be at the table. I do have a preliminary parking diagram that I want to run by whoever's interested, because we're going to have to go to zoning and get a variance for parking. There's no new parking lots. We're going to be using existing parking lots, but they were never made official parking lots. So we're doing everything, by the numbers. So we have to get these zoning variances. But if you have any interest, we're going to be posting up the variance next week. But I'd love to have anybody's feedback before we go downtown and waste our time there. So if you have anybody, or if you have any concerns, or you know anybody who might, come see me at the table, or just have me get in touch with everybody. Thank you very much.